Hi, I'm eXo. This video will cover a new feature we've added to the media pack for eXoDOS. Now, if you're not familiar, the media pack is an add-on you can get that adds magazines, books, catalogs, soundtracks, and now it adds video as well. Documentaries, TV shows, we got some really cool stuff in there. We're going to switch over here and take a look. Once you have the media pack, when you look under here in the drop down, you can see you have audio. There's your soundtracks. You got a whole list in here. You got your metadata on the side for you. A lot of them have track listings right here for you. Literature, you've got your books, catalogs, which are really cool for going back and seeing the software that was being pushed at different times of the year by different publishers. And of course, magazines and newsletters. Now, before we get on to the video section, I want to give a tip on how to use the magazine section. You'll notice every single entry is a different magazine, and so it can be kind of hard to find what you're looking for possibly. If you change platform category to genre, then you come down, right down here to magazine and hit the down arrow. Each magazine is its own genre under the as a subgenre of the magazine. So if you want to look at PC Zone magazine, you click here, there's only PC Zone. You filtered just to that magazine. You also, you got your Sierra newsletters, Softline, the Westwood newsletter. One cool thing about PC Gamer is you actually have the CD-ROM that was included with the magazine, and that's all set up in Windows 3X all ready to go. So you double click that, Windows 3X pops open, it loads the disk, and you and Coconut Monkey can go on adventures together just like it's 1996 all over again. Now, I'm going to drop back over here to the platform category, which is where I like to be. And we're going to drop down to video. Now we have quite a few really cool entries in here, and more will be coming with each release. Right off the bat, you can see we have the BBS documentary. This is really interesting if you happen to grow up in the era of the bulletin board systems. Many people are familiar with Computer Chronicles. This was a TV show that talked about where computers were, where they had been, what was coming out. I have gone through, and rather than get the entire back catalog of Computer Chronicles, I have pulled every episode that had something relating to MS-DOS. Now, so there's 488 episodes total. If we open up Computer Chronicles here, you'll see I've put together a menu, and it shows you which episodes we can pick from. So you've got computer games from 84, from 85, IBM compatible computers, modems and bulletin boards. That one I found to be particularly interesting. They're talking about the legality of it. What happens if you have someone with less than legal content being shared? It's very prescient, the things that they're talking about. And a lot of those issues are the things we still deal with today on the modern internet. And they were worried about this back in 1985 on bulletin board systems. There's a MIDI music one from 87, and that's not the last time we see that. They come back and revisit the topic of MIDI music multiple times throughout the series. As we continue on to the next, video game consoles in 1990, shareware games in 88. Moving forward, CD-ROM software, flight simulators, the CES show of 1991, how to build your own PC, computer games of 91, CD-ROM software. Again, MIDI music's back in 1992. And then finally, we've got DOS 6.2, Computers and Kids, the E3 special from 1996, which I had a fun time watching that one. The greatest games, and then sports simulation software. Now, we also have G4's Icon Show. Here we don't have to start it to see what we have, but it's right here in the metadata. But my picture is blocking it, so we're going to go ahead and start it anyway. This one is split by season. So under season 1, we've got Will Wright, Sid Meier, Richard Garriott, and Bruce Shelley. Season 2, you've got a whole special in LucasArts. You've got Warren Spector, and then just PC gaming as a whole. For 3, we've got Peter Molyneux, my favorite, Electronic Arts, Doom, and Prince of Persia. And then finally in season 4, there was an episode about Tim Schafer. Now again, this is not every episode of G4 Icons. Rather, it is episodes about people who had a heavy impact on the PC gaming world. I'm trying not to overpopulate this pack with a bunch of extra data. As other packs come out, if there is, for example, an episode about Windows 3X, I will add those episodes to the media pack for the Windows 3X pack. And if you happen to have both media packs, then it'll populate all of them at once. Moving forward here, there's the Get Lamp documentary. This is primarily about the text adventure genre, with a heavy focus on Infocom. Now, both the BBS documentary and the Get Lamp documentary provided are not rips. These are the actual DVDs. So you get the full menu. You get all the extras. You can browse the menus. It's actually pretty cool. We have a couple YouTube videos here. I did not mean to start that. We're going to stop that. We got the history of Grand Theft Auto. Now, the Infocom one here is actually a documentary that was a sub-documentary on the Get Lamp disc, but it's been pulled out. Retro 365 is a relatively new channel on YouTube, and they did this amazing 3-part series about the history of King's Quest, but it's not just King's Quest. It's Sierra as a whole, Roberta and Ken, and how they got there. And the whole thing's animated in a style that's very reminiscent of the old AGI Sierra games. So this is a highly recommended watch. And you don't have to have the media pack to watch this. Retro 365 is on YouTube. You can Google it right now and watch it. Highly recommend it. We have the making of The Last Express. This is pulled off the disc directly. Retro 365 also has a Police Quest documentary. They've only done the first episode so far. It's a promised trilogy though, so episodes 2 and 3 should be coming hopefully in the next few months. Retro Ahoy is one of my favorite YouTube creators out there. I really, really love his work. He's got a great presentation. He has a great voice. He puts a lot of research into his work, and his documentaries tend to be definitive. Now, I've only grabbed 2 of his documentaries and included them here. The goal is not to steal views from him. I highly recommend watching him on his channel so he gets any views. I don't know if he's monetized or not, but if he is, he deserves the views. But I did want to include them because who knows how long YouTube will be around. And when YouTube is gone and eXoDOS is still around in 50 years, I want people to be able to watch these amazing documentaries he's put together. He also did one on the Secret of Monkey Island. And again, that is a bit of a misnomer. This is about so much more than just Secret of Monkey Island. It kind of covers the point-and-click genre as a whole. For Command & Conquer, there's a channel called Redux. They did the Rise and Fall of Command & Conquer. They've also done the Rise and Fall of Duke Nukem. We have the Rise and Fall of Peter Molyneux. This is kind of a neat little episode. Saturday Crapshoot was a fun little series that used to be, I don't think it goes anymore, but they did an episode on American laser games. We have the Sierra Online video catalog. And now, these are actually also attached to a few of the games. So, for example, if the video catalog of 1988 happened to cover King's Quest IV, The Perils of Rosella, then underneath King's Quest IV extras will be the excerpt from the catalog about that game specifically. But here you have the full video catalog instead of just the excerpts. You have the 1989 video catalog from them and the 91 video catalog. The story of Mega Man on DOS is interesting. This is a gaming historian video, another great YouTuber out there. He also has one on the story of the Oregon Trail. And then this guy here, A Visit to id Software. This is a unique one. This is a home video that was shot by a large bulletin board system that was running here in the Dallas area. And as many of you probably know, id Games was also based out of Dallas. And games like Doom were, and everything Apogee did before that, the Commander Keen stuff, Major Striker, and games like Biomenace were all distributed via bulletin board systems. So there was a definite relationship between the developers and the bulletin board guys. Dan Litton here was the owner of a large bulletin board, and he got to visit the id offices, and this is like their Christmas party, and he's filming the whole thing. So it's kind of unique to see what it was like there in the offices while they were working on Doom. Doom was not out yet. They were showing it off and talking a lot about what it was going to be like. The The War Stories is a great episode on Prince of Persia. It gets into a lot of details that prior to the digital Eclipse release of Jordan Mechner's Karateka, a lot of this hadn't been talked about. Now, some of it still isn't in that release. Then you've got War Stories about Prince of Persia. And then finally, you've got 2 corporate videos that Westwood put out. These videos are strange. It's kind of a combination of a home movie. Lots of candid pictures of people in the office making silly faces, or getting off a bus on a field trip when they went to go visit something, or at the company Christmas party. A lot of love directed at the upper management. These definitely are, they're corporate. They're very corporate, but I thought they'd be interesting for people to see anyway. The other one is their 15th anniversary corporate video they put out to thank everyone for 15 years of the company. There's a lot of shared footage between both of these videos, but they are different. One of them in particular has a load of cheeseball 90s power ballads just to, really set the tone of we love Westwood. We love working here. These are the first pack of videos that have been included in the media pack. When we release 6.05, I'm sure we'll have more videos. The challenge actually is finding the content. There is not a ton of well-researched content about the MS-DOS era out there. Now, don't get me wrong. There are YouTubers that do lots of video reviews, and they talk about maybe a long play or that's really not the goal here. The goal is not just a video about a DOS game. It's a video about the creation of the DOS game, or the era of the DOS game. Or even harder still to find, videos about the era that were created in the era. So that's why the computer chronicles are so important to me. This shows you what people thought while it was happening, rather than the hindsight, the retrospective, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Those are interesting, but they're not as informative, and they're not as in dire need of preservation. If you have any ideas or suggestions on more content that can be added to the video section specifically, I'd love to hear them. You can comment below. You can come over to the Discord and have a conversation about it. However you want to, you can email me. There's lots of ways to contact me to give ideas. And I rely heavily on the community to provide that information, because it's impossible for any one person to be aware of all of the potential media that's out there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.